I don't know, LeBron James or somebody, would you recommend they build a bunker shelter?
Um, well, I couldn't say. Well, I'm saying anybody. In my personal opinion, just based on I guess what I understand of Scripture. Um, I'm saying it's not gonna do you much good. It's just not. Because the thing is, like, I'm glad you brought that out because there's a company that's building bomb shelters. Now, this is like the timeshares of bomb shelters. So, you pay a monthly fee. They give you the keys to the bomb shelter. They give you the location, and then you can go there anytime you want. But the thing is, you're splitting it with another family or another person, so you don't know. There's enough supplies. So let's say for me and my wife, when I fill out the application, I say family of two, and it says, okay, well, you'll be sharing this with a family of three. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. Now, here's the thing with that. Look, this is just how stupid this idea is. Now, the bunker has everything. It's got air filtration, it's got food, it's got water, it's got everything. Now, a few assumptions have to be made, and these are wild assumptions. The first assumption is I have to get to the bunker first because I don't know that other family and they're going to let me in or not. That's the first assumption. Two, the very first assumption is I have to get to the bunker. Second assumption is I have to get there before the other family does, and if not, I have to assume that they're going to let me in if we're sharing the bunker together. So like Brother Chris said, if it's Esau, you know, it's going to really come out. So he bought a bunker to share with five people. Now he has extra supplies because he locked me out and I can't get in the bunker that I've been paying for. So um, you know, the first thing, I guess, to answer your question, would I recommend it? If you could afford it and it's not going to hurt your budget, I mean, it can't hurt. First things first, if you got to be in the will of the Most High, that's what's gonna save us. Our faith in the Most High. So a bunker is it'll help, just like our food and whatever things other things we are supplying or stocking up will help. But for LeBron James specifically, I would tell him to come to the law, statutes, and commandments. That would be the first thing because a bunker's not going to save him. Make
Con,
sense?
con.
Okay. So that'd be my now for us. We're trying to keep it the best we can. We're learning. We're spreading the gospel, waking up our people. Putting in our brick to the best we can. I would say it's more of a budget issue. I mean, you could go in there, you can go in the bunker. I mean, an earthquake could hit and the whole bunker is sunken in and you're stuck there. Or you try to get to the bunker and you can't be. So, it's one of those things like I couldn't call it. So, um, now let's move on to the next movie. Um,
Oh,
oh,
just real quick. No, Salaki. I just had a couple of precepts, just real quick.
sure,
For you.
bring those out.
Okay, Con. Um, I wanted to read Exodus 23 and 22, just to talk about if we're keeping the commandments, how it's gonna go for us, and, the blessing that comes with that, and how important it is to keep the commandments. So Exodus 23 and 22. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries. So, you know, we know these times are coming up and, how difficult and how trying they're going to be, but it's very imperative for us to keep the commandments. And just my last precept, just real quick, just to describe, the time period and what we're coming into. Matthew 24. I'm going to start at verse 7, verse 37, and read through 39. But as the days of Noah were, but as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So we know that his return is going to be like the days of Noah, and Noah had 150 years. I mean, no, 40 years to prepare. But for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving unto marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. So we know that they weren't preparing. Noah was preparing, but they weren't. and knew until the flood came and took them all away, they died, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So we know that, our people are going to pass away through not preparing for these times, but we, in this truth, definitely have to stay focused on preparing. And with that, I yield.
Con. The next movie on tonight's list is called Aftermath. The movie starts out in a house in the woods being raided by a group with guns. They kick down the door, they shoot up the place, and they fill their bags with the canned goods from the house. There are no words exchanged, no begging, no pleading, no negotiations, no Mexican standoff with everyone slowly lowering their guns and people laughing and having a drink. What just happened in that first scene is exactly what the scripture says. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. The next scene shows a kid in the woods alone with a Darth Vader mask pretending he's having a sword fight, which to me, this raised a lot of alarm bells. Now, he trips over a snare alarm that alerts his older brother, which almost shot him, which almost shoots Jim, the younger brother. You saw the trip alarms that Cody, the older brother, set up around the shelter. Now, this is a good idea if you don't have the manpower to keep watch. And even if you don't, this is where faith comes in. Faith that the Most High will protect us even while we sleep. Okay? The next scene, they're eating cold beans from the can, and Jim, the younger one, makes jokes about how the beans taste like a well-done steak. The brother responds that they taste like beans, but he laughs. Now, during this time, a little humor might be needed to keep the group's spirits up. A little humor, okay, emphasize a little, but treating this time like it's a stand-up comedy hour is not wise. Now, for us, what we should do is, this is why we want to have a couple, I'll say more than a couple, a good amount of choice scriptures memorized that will bring us comfort and encouragement, okay? Soon, as their brothers are eating, Cody and Jim, the trip alarm goes off, and Cody grabs his rifle in the direction he knows that the trip alarm is, and sees a woman running towards them. He yells at her to stop and she says she is unarmed and keeps running towards them. He yells again for her to stop and then shoots her to Jim's displeasure. Now, Jim says, Cody, says, what did you want me to do? Invite her in. Now, there's a few things to note from this interaction. He yells at her to stop. She stops, which means she heard him, and then she keeps running towards him. Okay, so this could be that's one of the things that people are going to have to come to grips with. When someone has a gun on you, you kind of are at their mercy. You probably need to follow directions. So the thing is, if he wanted to kill her dead, well, first he told her to go away. But if he wanted to kill her dead, he would have just shot her and wouldn't have said anything. So you see from Cody's, interaction with the woman that he does have some mercy, unlike the guys in the opening scene who didn't say anything and just shot up and robbed the place. Okay? So later that night, Cody is next to the wall, and Jim is inside a tent. Now, this tent looks beat up and old, so you can kind of tell how long they've been traveling and how long, this scenario has been going on. So later that night, the trip alarm goes off, and Cody looks out and sees a gang with torches coming toward looks like a house or a stable, coming towards the house. They run with their backpacks and some of their supplies on a sled. The gang follows them into the woods while shooting at them. They follow them until the brother drops the sled, which probably had some of their supplies. The brothers hide and they sleep there all night in the cold without a fire or shelter, which is a real possibility for some of us. Okay. The next morning, they are walking in a field when they spot what it looks like an abandoned train car with busted windows and faded paint. Cody gets his rifle to scope it out and says, "Let's go, it's not safe." Jim is visibly upset and says, "Oh, come on, why not?" and starts to argue with Cody. Cody then takes his rifle and hands it to Jim and says, "Here, take it. Go see if it's safe." Jim repeatedly says, "No, I don't want it," referring to the rifle and to the responsibility to see if the place is secure. Now, for those who haven't seen this movie yet, I mean, again, it's in the we posted in the chat. If as I'm describing Jim, the younger brother, you would think this kid is about 8 or 9 years old, but no, he's looks about late teens, ranging anywhere between 17 and 19. He looks, he's old. So, you're in the woods playing with a Darth Vader mask, pretending you're having a sword fight, and now you don't. Now you want you and your brother to go to an abandoned train car, which, in my opinion, the car was not safe at all. First of all, you can easily surround it. The windows are already busted out, meaning that some people have already been there before, and there's very limited room to maneuver or escape. But you see this spoiled, teenager wants to stay there because, it's better than sleeping outside in the cold. Now, they continue to walking until they notice a very large 2-story house on a hill. Cody tells Jim to get down, and they both hide behind large bales of hay. Cody gets his rifle and scopes out the place. During his survey, he sees Jim already at the front door going inside. Now, by my estimate, from where they were to the door was about 200 yards away. Okay, so Cody sees Jim already at the door, and goes, follows him. So the scene cuts to Jim going room to room looking to see what's inside. Cody goes inside and yells out for Jim. Jim, meanwhile, continues to search the house without a gun, without any protection, but he searched the house until he finds one room that has a bed with a mattress, pillows, and a blanket. He gets excited and runs out the room and almost gets shot by Cody, who has a handgun. Now, this is smart because trying to clear rooms and hallways that have tight corners with a rifle can be difficult and a liability because it can reveal your position on the other side of that corner, and it can be difficult to maneuver. So as you saw him, as he almost shot Jim, he had a handgun, which, is smart. So Cody yells at Jim and asks, "What the F is wrong with you?" Jim replies, "Nothing. Nothing is wrong with me." And that right there, folks, is the problem. Jim does not see anything wrong with his actions or what the possible ramifications could be. And whoever we are hooked up with, talking to us now, whoever we are hooked up with during this time, if we clearly see that someone is a liability to us or to the group, and we try to reason with them about their actions, and they do not want to see it, and pride is taken over, then we need to make some tough decisions or easy decisions depending on your mindset. So for some of us, depending who it is, it may be the easiest decision you ever made. Some of us, it might not be so hard. So as you can see this, Jim repeatedly is showing his immaturity and selfishness. Okay? Now, this can be evident when Cody tells Jim that we are leaving, and Jim says, "No, we're not." Jim says, "Go ahead." No, Cody says, "Go ahead and get yourself killed," and then walks away. Jim has a look on his face as if, "Yeah, right, you're not going to leave me." So Cody goes downstairs and finds some food in the cabinets and comes back up to Jim as night hits and says, "Come on, we're leaving," giving us the feeling that 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 Cody has, that you can't get too comfortable in any one spot, especially a large 2-story house that has multiple windows and just 2 people, one of which does not want to carry or use a gun. Now, when Cody gets upstairs, he sees Jim asleep, knocked out in the bed with the pillow and the blanket, which proves the same point we covered in the episode of The Twilight Zone, which is people are going to do anything to get a slice of normalcy. They will literally kill you if you have a working tablet, or you just brewed some coffee in the wilderness, or anything that will give them a slither of hope of things going back to normal. Cody, the older brother, looks at him and walks away. The next morning, Jim wakes up and it appears he's been sleeping for a while. He goes downstairs to see Cody working with some fishing line. Cody says, we need to set this up and suggest about 100 feet of distance depending on the materials they can find. You can see by Jim's expression that he is excited that Cody is letting them stay. Right as he is talking, Cody is shot in the back of the head through the window. Another shot rings out and Cody gets down and he sees enemies coming from 2 different directions, which confirms anyone who is wise knows that that place has too many windows and cannot be defended from all angles. Now, the difference between that place and the first place at the beginning of the movie was that the barn didn't, where they were, did not look like they had windows or that many windows. Cody was looking out from cracks or, cracks from floor, the boarding of the barn. It could see in and out, but it wasn't like windows all around the place. So that would be the difference from that place. Now, another shot rings out and, Cody sees enemies coming from two different directions. I mean, not Cody, Jim gets down. Cody got shot dead. Jim is scared as he sees his brother's dead body lying on the ground. He quickly grabs his brother's rifle and hides as the gang enters the house and starts to strip the clothes off his brother's dead body. He quickly goes upstairs and starts to pack his bag in the room where the bed was, which further shows that Jim made the mistake, which was he got too comfortable in a place at the expense of his brother's life. He then escapes and hides in the attic. It appears to be the next morning as he waits out the gang to leave. It appears to be the next morning and Jim comes down from the attic to find the place empty. Even the gang of 4 people who all had guns didn't want to stay there because they knew for a couple of reasons that, you could see that the gang they didn't make camp there, is because, for one, either they have a place already and they were coming to that place to scavenge, or they know the security risk that place poses. It's on top of the hill from, all directions. So anyone walking in any direction eventually is going to come upon it. Okay. And it's 2 stories, has multiple windows. It's a security nightmare. Jim then places a sheet over Cody's body as he hears branches breaking outside. He takes his brother's rifle, just like Cody always did, and saw an unarmed man coming from the woods, who stops and he sees Jim and begs him not to shoot him as Jim looks down the rifle and shoots him in the head, the stranger, which shows us that Jim knows how to use a gun but did not want the responsibility. Jim shoots the man dead with no remorse and leaves the house. So, in conclusion, what do we have here? We have Cody, who is looking after his little brother Jim in a post-apocalyptic world. A little brother who looks about in his late teens, who refuses to come to terms with the new reality and to learn the lessons of this new world. A selfish refusal that costs a loved one his life, a price of tuition that no caring, loving, selfless big brother should have to pay. And I pray none of us have to pay the cost of someone else's selfishness. So with that, I will bring out these 2 precepts and I will yield And, that'll be it for tonight. This is Second Ezra's. We covered this plenty of times, but it definitely is appropriate for this episode. This is Second Ezra's chapter 16, verse 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. He that buyeth, as one that will lose. He that occupies merchandise, as he that will have no profit by it. And he that builds, as he shall not dwell therein. He that sows, as he should not reap. He that planteth the vineyard, as that he shall not gather the grapes. They that marry, as they that get no children, and they that marry not, as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods and overthrow their houses and take their children captive. For in captivity and famine they shall get children. And that's exactly what we saw. A bunch of people, that's the thing we saw from Jim, the younger brother. He did not want to, let go of, the prior life he had in Babylon. And he refused to do it, even though he saw plenty of times that, the danger was real. Which, we could see if, the beginning of any, disaster movie, some people are still in la la land, and it will take them time to, realize the kind of world we're living in. So again, judging by the supplies they had and judging how everyone was just robbing and killing each other with no questions asked, except for Cody, you see that this has been a while, the time frame, this scenario, whatever caused this collapse, they have been dealing with this for a while. I would say easily, a couple of months, easily, just based on everything you see, the setting of the film. So this precept right here is Jim's refusal to abide by this precept is why Cody lost his life. Now, Cody, a few mistakes Cody made, he should have put his foot down and said, no, we cannot stay here. And explain why. Listen, this place is too big for us. There's too many, windows that, are people can see that we're in here, and, it'll give away our position. We could get shot through these windows, which happened to Cody. But Cody, in a attempt to appease his brother, and to, I guess, stop yelling at his brother, said, hey, we can stay here, but, we need to set up a perimeter, which a perimeter with just two people, it would take a lot of fishing line, which I'm sure they could have found something else in the house, but it would take a lot for them to set up that house to where it is it wouldn't be as big as a security threat. So again, you saw that the gang of four did not even want to stay there. They came what they came to do. They robbed and took everything they saw, and they left. So, this precept right here is, for those of us who, still want to have some sort of, success in Babylon. Now, it is saying, I'm just got to clear up this precept. It is not saying you should not do those things. It is telling you the mindset that you should have. So, he that occupies merchandise, as he that has no profit by it. Okay, you're having the mindset like, I'm starting the business. If I make money, great. If I don't, whatever. Because it's for one, Babylon is not our home. For one, and two, what's coming in the context of the scriptures, and Second Ezra's, Jacob's trouble is on his way. So whatever, what's another one? He that sells, let him be as he that fleeth. So if you do have a business and you got merchandise, you sell it like it's going out of style. Okay. So, and he that buys as if he will lose. So you buy in, but you have no attachment to it. Okay. And that kind of goes with Brother Miles' question about the bunker. Like, if you are financially in the position to get a bunker or to build one, whatever, go right ahead. I mean, but you have to have that mindset. Like, this is not my final stand. Like, I'm come hell or high water. I'm not leaving this bunker because I didn't spend $50,000 on this bunker, or I highly doubt a bunker. You can get $50,000 for a bunker these days, but how much ever you spent, or you can use Afterpay. That's a joke that's going around. Whatever. But if you build a bunker and something happens to where you have to leave your entire residence, and that includes the bunker, don't get attached to whatever's inside the bunker. Okay. So, this lesson right here was a lesson that, an older brother who was wise enough to recognize the times had to pay, because he didn't put his foot down. When he said, go ahead and get yourself killed, and Jim looked, yeah, right, you're not going to leave me here. Cody should have had the I guess the strength to say, you know what, this kid's going to get me killed. I'm leaving, or I'm going to stay here at the night because it's too dark. First thing in the morning, I'm getting the hell out of here. But, that little lowering of the guard is what caused him to get shot in the back of the head through a glass window, So, with that, I yield. If you brothers want to bring anything out, or if anyone wants to come up and comment on the movie, feel free.
I just want to say I thought it was really good. I'll bring up Jake. I just want to say I thought it was really good, especially having these references that we can go to and we can see things like what we are actually talking about. I really enjoyed it. Just from a standpoint of a person that's preparing, and these Brother Leo picked these out, handpicked these out and set them up to invite Sister Cheyenne up. Brother Leo picked these out and went through the trouble of making this website, but it was so easy to go see and compare it to what we've been talking about for over more than 10 weeks now. Just a compilation of all of these different classes that we have had, and to see it, like some of the things we talk about culminate in a lot of these in these two clips. I would definitely I can't wait for the next one for us to get into more movie clips and things like that. But it was definitely good just from a observation standpoint outside of being on the platform. Brother Jake has something. What you got, King? Brother Jake?
Cheyenne can go right.
Okay. Hey, Sister Cheyenne, what's going on, sis? Shalom.
Shalom, Ox. Actually, I'm so sorry. I'm in the middle of cooking. I actually didn't mean to raise my hand, but I'll say this, since I am up here, I really appreciated this class. I didn't see the Twilight Zone or Aftermath, but I am going to watch them now. And I did want to ask, actually, if you guys could add me to the is it the Thy Kingdom Come or Jacob's Trouble?
Thy Kingdom Come telechat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you already gonna tell a Telegram?
Yes.
I got you, sis. I'll get you. If you can, are you on Instagram?
So I was just about to say that too, King Ben. I actually added you on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. So you should have a friend request coming on from me.
All right, I'll send you the link.
All right, I appreciate you all, guys. I'll go back into the audience.
All right.
Con. And thank you for that. All praises to the Father. If you have not seen these two one's episode, The Twilight Zone, and then the short film Aftermath, we'll get you the link to the website. You can watch them, and then you can, I guess, listen to this lesson again, or at least see what we're talking about. So, Brother Jake, you want to add something, or are you still tied up? Okay, I think he's still tied up. Well, real quick, like looking at the list of movies that I have, there's
There you go. Salakia, there you go. Go ahead, Jake.
Okay, go ahead, Jake.
Oh, hey, yeah, sorry about that phone call. So I thought that movie, I knew that was gonna be the plot twist I had with the Twilight Zone, and that was gonna happen. But the aftermath uh short film, I think, was excellent when it comes to just not being unapologetic about the type of scenario you would be in. It doesn't give you a reason as to why the society is like that. It just tells you that this is the situation that you're in, and this is how people are going to be treating other people. It brings a great awareness to, uh, all these people who are purchasing firearms. They intend on using their firearms, right? Um, the juxtaposition between the younger man and how he did not feel comfortable even holding on to the weapon. Like there was a level of morality that he was holding on to that all these other people did not care about. Um, Even the imagery of them stepping over the dead man and just taking his shoes off. These are my shoes now. That's the level of not caring about other people. An environment like that is going to bring you into. I'm sure that's already been stated. Um, it brings also importance to
Um,
situational awareness.
is
Can you
it
hear
me?
me?
Salakia, you going in and out for me? Are y'all
Yeah,
hearing?
yeah. You're like we can hear you normally, and then you kind of go.
Can you hear me now? Am I good now?
Yeah, you're perfect. Go ahead.
All right. It brings into account situational awareness. I think that bringing that element into the uh, the movie, letting you know that you can't put your guard down, keeping watch, keeping fire watch. Um, these are things you're going to be exhausted, you're going to be tired, you're going to be cold, you're going to be miserable. You trying to find a comfortable spot will leave you into a point of vulnerability. Seeking comfort will put you in a place of vulnerability because one, other people are trying to seek that same comfort, right? And they'll take it away from you for their own personal gain, and then it makes you relaxed, right? When you're in the military, the concept of fire watch, right? You're having people who are outside the camp, posted up with their firearm, you know, at the ready. You're in condition three or condition one. You'll probably be in condition one. If you don't know what condition one is, that's a problem. Because it has everything to do with safety protocols when it comes to your firearm. Being at the ready, um, somebody keeping the fire hot, or if you keep a fire while you're asleep, and that's going to be a signal to everyone. This is where goods and treats are, and more ammo, and water, and food, and a tent, and maybe some new boots because my feet are cold from these old boots. I need new boots, and I will kill this person for those new boots. I think that was a um, excellent short film in my opinion.
And yeah, I liked it. I mean, like that's one thing. Like it's not like it gets like you said the key word was unapologetic. Like it's not it's there's no Mexican standoff. There's no I can trust you. Can you trust me? And that's not realistic at all because in order for that to be realistic, that means one, you would have to know that person, completely know them. Two, you would have to know the state of mind that they're in, and three, you would have to be 100 absolutely sure that they don't want to shoot you. They just want you to put down your gun too, and you guys talk about and negotiate whatever you guys are going to do. That is way too many. You have to be sure. And movies like this one, Aftermath, that's not realistic. Like we're not going to kick down the man's door in the beginning and negotiate and you can keep some week. No, just there was no dialogue. So it was that was good. I like
Yeah,
it.
that opening scene where that person had a whole fire, a cabin at the lake, goods, and they came in and killed that person. You didn't even see the person, right? Like that's how less even in that scene, that's how less you mattered, right? Nobody knows you. Nobody's going to remember you. Like they're not looking. You didn't get to see that person's face, to see the shock or the no, 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 no. You didn't hear any of that. It was just dead person and them taking your stuff. Your stuff was more valuable in that scene than you were. That is beautiful. And I yield. I'll go back.
Con. And then, it was kind of, I mean, that director, he did a great job. I mean, and with some of these short films, some of them are just terrible. So I'm not gonna, I've gone through the pain of watching some really bad ones. But the good ones, me and my wife, we're like, wow, that one was wow. I gotta like and subscribe and see what else movies this director made. But yeah, there's some terrible ones out there. That one, like you said, we're not going into how the collapse happened, not irrelevant, just a bunch of irrelevant questions. Like this is the time we're in, and you have to come to that realization that this is the new reality. So, and like I said with the we'll bring Brother Chris up. And like I said with Jim, when they were at the train car and Cody was like, "Here, take the gun. You go see it's safe." And he was like, "No, I don't want to." I was like, he doesn't want, he doesn't know how to use the gun or whatever. But when, he heard at the end, when he heard the guy coming out the woods, he grabbed the gun and shot the dude in the head the first time. So he knew how to use a gun. He just didn't want to take the responsibility of having, the time that, we're in. We're in this time. I want to go out to the woods and go play Star Wars. And, I'm a teenager. So that, I mean, and that's a psychological thing that's going to happen to a lot of people. It's I think it's cognitive dissonance, but because if he was in a normal world, a 17-year-old, he looked between 17 and 19. A late teen is not going to go out in the woods and go play Darth Vader with a sword. I mean, he seemed a little more mature than that, but I found this Darth Vader mask and it reminds me of when I was young. I want to go back to that right now and, reminisce with Star Wars. So, just that refusal or, that, making that mental jump of saying this is reality, man. We just got to deal with it is what's going to get a lot of people killed, unfortunately. So, Brother Chris, is there something you want to add?
Yeah, real quick. It was a lot packed into that short film, but it added another level to my thinking because what he did with the bells, right? He had all those bells lined up, and then he had the forethought to think, okay, one or two bells, all right, I can shoot, I can handle that. But all four bells, bug out, sled, we out. Like he already thought about that dimension, previous. So I was like, dang, that's, something I didn't really think of.
Con. And like the thing with that was he knew which direction each bell was, because when the first bell went off and it was the lady, she was coming up over the hill. So he already had the gun pointed in that direction. But then when at night, when he heard the other bells go off, he looked and it was like more of a flat land and guys are coming with torches. So in this thing, like, which, you could assume, based on how he set that up, they were there for, I won't say a while, but they were there, more than a couple of days. But having that foresight, like you said, to set it up, okay, these are multiple bells. So that means a lot of people tripped over these wires and, we got to go. They got torches. So that means, they definitely got supplies and we got to get out of here. So, and, again, when the real danger came, Jim had no problem falling in line and listening to his brother. It was just those moments of any, perceived safety. He was like, no, I'm not doing that. Or why can't we do this? Or, so, that's just, something that some of us are going to have to deal with, hopefully not within ourselves and hopefully not within our family, but a lot of people are going to have to deal with that fact because as long as that hope of don't worry, things are going to go back to normal, they're going to get control of the situation or, the lights are going to come back on. That mentality, especially if you don't know what time it is and you don't know what the scripture says, that's going to be a very dangerous mentality. So, yeah, that's very good. Anybody else? Anyone else? So if you don't have access to the website, join the Telegram or hit up, Brother Mike or King Ben. We'll, send it to you. So again, this is it's an open site for right now. I don't have a login, but I'm just keeping track of the traffic that's coming. So as long as it keeps low, meaning it's just for us, then I can keep it unlocked. But I don't want the site to start getting spammed and taken down and things like that. So we'll keep it open as much as possible until something comes up. So I don't have anything else for today. The next movie I haven't decided yet because I have to do the summary of these movies to make sure we cover a lot of good points versus just saying, oh yeah, giving a broad overview. So I'll put it up and we'll cover it. If I do like the short films, I'll put like 2 because those are more easy to manage. And if I do the long one, that'll be just for the class. So for instance, I want to do The Road. That'll be the whole lesson, just to be dealing with the road. So, yeah, I don't have anything else. King Ben, I'll turn it over to you to close this out.
Con. Yeah, so that was all praise to the Most High for that. Brother Leo continues to not disappoint with just the amount of information that is being given out. This will be uploaded to the YouTube. Up there now should be the Jacob's Trouble series. In the playlist, it should be I want to say 10 episodes with the addition of one, because it's one that's actually 2 parts. And so I added today part 10. And that was a dangerous mind, state of mind, lone wolf. That was the last one that we did, Brother Leo did. And this one will be uploaded today or tonight, so you can go check out that playlist on the YouTube. If you're not part of the Thy Kingdom Come Telegram, hit myself, like you said, or Brother Leo, Brother Mike, and we'll get you in there. Just hit us on Instagram or Twitter. We do have a Knights of the Round Table coming up for Thursday. That should be added to schedule to either tonight or tomorrow morning. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be back with the morning brew, mid-morning brew, at 10:30 a.m. 9:30 Central Standard Time. If you're not following, make sure you follow the moderators on the stage. Make sure you become a member of Thy Kingdom Come. It should be over Brother Mike's head. Click on the little house, become a member, nominate someone, as well as go down and follow our sister clubs. Very important. Starting in the morning with Crown of Thorns, which Brother Shalpar does the Kosher Breakfast God First Gang, which there are different classes like the Moral of the Story, as well as Bible Q&A, and all types of schedule. You can click on there and see the schedules on the God First Gang's bio, as well as Sincere Milk, Shalom and Chill, the 1/3 Club, where we have a lot of our sister classes, as well as For the Love of God, as also Free Smoke Fridays. Make sure you follow all of those clubs. They are very pivotal in our continuing edification, which is done almost 24 hours a day, 365, 366 in leap year. We're trying to keep this edification going. The brother's been building for over just under 6 months now. So we, trying to get it in there every single day. We got the best teachers in Israel. Brother Raya, I think, is down in the audience. Usually Brother Dominique is in here. Brother Jake, these brothers been putting in the work, so make sure you are following one of those clubs. Make sure you follow these brothers. so you can be alerted when these rooms will come available. With that being said, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and thank for everyone for coming out. By the grace of the Most High, this has been made available to us. We pray that it can continue until we get up out of here. That we can continue to gather together and get this information, separating ourselves from, this world and the things that is happening here. So, when that time comes, we will be situated and ready to move. So with that being said, we pray that everyone have a safe night. I believe it's a Shalom and Chill should be opening up or should still be open. Head over there. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.
Shalom, family.